I do want to point out one thing. She was just barking at a guy that she could see out the window. And as soon as she broke away from that, I tossed her a treat. So there's a big difference between the barking that they do when they are demand barking, which would look like, I want something from you. So that could be where you're standing at a kitchen counter and she's looking and barking at you because she thinks that's going to get her food, which it has, or attention, or whatever. So that happens on the thinking part of the brain. So that's where she is making choices and putting together the pieces of, I bark, let's use the example of barking at the counter. I bark, you tell me to be quiet, I be quiet, and you give me a treat. And so she is thinking through that process of, what do I need to do to get what I want? The treat, attention, whatever it is. So the barking that she does, and so for that, we want to give a treat or not give a treat when she is making the right choices. Because when she's doing that, she is actively making a choice to bark at you for whatever it is that she wants, okay? Because her perception is that it's going to pay her in something that she wants. That's the complete opposite of the barking that she does when she is barking at something, a noise, a sight, something like that. That is not barking that she is doing because she's thinking. That is barking she is doing because she is reacting. So that's that just instinct to jump up and have that kind of fight reflex. So she's not thinking when that's happening. She's feeling. She's feeling stressed, anxious, something like that. She's feeling something uncomfortable, and her body just has this reaction, kind of like you would sneeze. It's a reaction. She's not making a choice to do that. So part of what we're doing with all this relaxation training is helping her body stay in a calmer state so that she actually can think and make a decision. When your body gets so over the top, it's hard to make any, if you think about if you've really been stressed out, somebody's really scared you and your heart's kind of racing and it's hard to get your thoughts back for a minute or two. So when you're kind of in a calm state and something happens, you can process that and make decisions about what you want to do. So think about, if you're at your house and it's the middle of the day and somebody knocks on the door and you look up and think, okay, do I want to answer the door? Or is it somebody maybe trying to sell me something? I don't know, might answer the door, might not answer the door, and you make a decision. Let's say it's like 3 a.m. and you hear somebody pounding on your door or your window just outside your house, and all of a sudden, your heart's pounding and everything's just kind of in this aroused state and you're just reacting. What do we do? And your heart's racing and you're not in that kind of thinking state. Then you have to kind of get yourself back together before you can make a choice about what you're going to do. So that's what's happening in her body when she's having those episodes, is that her body just goes into that, oh my God, somebody's, about to break into the house. Like that would be kind of the equivalent of what's happening for you. So when that's happening, she's not choosing to do that. Her body's having these reactions. And so what we are doing with that relaxation training is working on helping her body come down to a calmer state so that she doesn't get into that high intensity reaction mode where she can't make a decision. So you saw that when we were doing some of those videos, that she would kind of be looking, some in the beginning, she would just jump up and be like, rah, 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 and she would just lose her mind. And she just really went over the top. But over time, as we helped her body calm down and react, she was looking and then could make a choice to put her head back down. There's absolutely no way that she could make a choice to put her head down if her body was in that high intensity fear and arousal state. So we're helping her come back down to the point where she can think and make decisions and do calming stuff. When she's going flying at the window barking, she's not thinking about that. She's having a feeling about that, and her feeling is stressed and aroused. So when that happens, if she's barking at you because she wants something, she's looking at you, she barks, like you have food at the counter, she's thinking about what she's doing. She's going to make cause and effect. She's going to be able to make cause and effect thoughts happen. So if she goes, so with that, if she barks, I'm not going to give her any kind of food or any reinforcement. When she has something like, she sees somebody out the window and she barks with that, I'm going to go ahead and I can throw a party and be like, oh, yay, this is the best thing ever. We love it when that happens. And because you're trying to change her feeling. So now, instead of somebody being out the window or hearing a deer or whatever, obviously you can't necessarily do this when you don't see anything or hear anything. But if you see her having a stressed moment, you can really kind of like throw a party about it. So let's say she hears, hears something knocking at the door. It's maybe, yeah, knocking at the door is a decent example. She hears somebody knocking at the door. So like what I would do then is I'd be like, oh yeah, that's great. And I'd throw a couple treats on the ground and really make it a wonderful, happy thing. And so now it starts to become associated with something really good happening instead of just that stressful thing. So like, for example, with Faze, I think I might have told you when we were walking, when dogs would charge the fence, she would get really stressed out. And so then it started to happen where every time a dog would charge at the fence and be barking or lunging at the fence, I'd be like, oh, this is great, best thing ever. And I'd tug on her leash or I'd give her treats or something really awesome would happen. So then it started happening where instead of a dog would charge at the fence and you'd see her kind of flinch and try to move away, started to happen where when a dog would charge at the fence, she'd start to look all excited because she knew something really great was going to happen. So you are changing their feeling about an event that they currently perceive as stressful or scary. We lost Polly here. So that's different. So if she's demand barking for something, that is a thought, that is a decision. If she's having an episode where she's stress barking at something, and that's usually like where the body's stiff, her body's leaning forward. I mean, you know what it looks like. You see it all the time. That is a feeling, and so we can change the feeling by associating something that is currently stressful with something that feels really fun and pleasant. So like I said, with my dog, anytime, and you saw me do that actually with Polly with my dog. When other dogs bark, my dog gets stressed out. I don't know if you saw in the video at all, but like her ear will kind of go back and her head will turn. She starts to look a little stressed. Well, now after working with Polly for a few days, when Polly starts to bark, my dog's ears perk up and she's all excited now because she knows it means that she's getting a treat. So I have changed her emotional feeling. So with my dog, so with Polly, when Polly gets stressed out, she barks. With my dog, most of the time when she gets stressed out, she kind of shrinks down and then tries to shrink away. She shuts down and looks stressed. So it just looks different whether she's shutting down or amping up. Polly's an amp up, my dog's a shut down. Either way, it's a stress response though. And so with my dog, through making that connection, oh, when this dog barks, something great's going to happen. Just in a couple of days of that, my dog is now looking happy when Polly barks instead of looking stressed out. So Polly's would be the same through making that connection of something that stresses her out with something really positive happening. Treats are usually the way to go with that. You'll start to see her feelings change about those events. So I just wanted to explain the difference of why you would throw treats for barking. You're not throwing treats for the barking itself. You're trying to make that connection with something stressful and something good happening. It's best if you can catch it before she has that reactive episode. Like let's say you see her head perk up a little bit and you see something happening outside and you don't have her on a leash or anything because you're in the house and you have no control over the environment. I can't control a person walking by my house outside. That's when I'm going to throw that party and just make it a really great event. When I have the TV on, I can hit pause. I can control the triggers, especially if I cannot control the trigger. I want to make sure to really throw a party when it happens to start getting her excited about those stressful things happening instead of feeling stressed. So I just wanted to explain why, let's say she went and saw somebody out the window and started barking out the window, I would throw a party and throw her a bunch of treats, not because she's barking, but because she's feeling stressed out by what she sees. So I want her to see that and think great things happen when I see that outside. I want to make her feel happy about seeing those things, because if she feels happy about them, she's not going to be barking about them. So that's the difference between what's happening on that thinking part of the brain, I'm barking at you because I want something, versus the reacting part of the brain, which is I'm barking about this because I'm really stressed out about it.